Hi, welcome to my channel where I'll be talking about triple signs on YouTube. Please like and subscribe and share to help support the channel. And over here in this video, the topic will be on homeostasis. And what is homeostasis? It has the word home and stasis. So it's like talking about going back to home, meaning to say that if there is any changes, there must be a certain way to set the situation or the environment back to home state, the original normal set point. So things like temperature, body temperature, things like water potential, pH must be kept at a strict set narrow range in living organisms so that the life processes can be carried out to maintain life, to keep the organism alive. And in this topic, there will be a lot of mention of the concept of negative feedback. Negative feedback is just the opposite action of the stimulus. For example, too much heat or too much water or pH. In these cases, certain corrective actions are set to decrease the original phenomenon. This is called the negative feedback. There's also such thing called the positive feedback, where it sets to amplify a certain action. So in cases of lactating mammals, if more offspring suckle at the mammary glands, more production of milk is carried out. Or in terms of labor, where if there's uterine pressure exerted, there will be a positive feedback to create more pressure. This is positive feedback, but it won't be covered in this video, only negative feedback for homeostasis. So homeostasis, there will be a certain loop of actions where certain key players will be there to participate in this series of events. So if there, of course, there will be a stimulus and a receptor must be there to detect the change, then it will tell the organ or the gland to execute the corrective mechanism to reverse the effect of the stimulus until the original set point is reached. Therefore, the corrective mechanism will stop. And if you have been watching earlier videos, you would have come across other forms and examples of homeostasis. For example, blood glucose concentration, and perhaps also water potential, regulating water in the blood. And for this chapter, we'll be mainly talking about regulating body temperature. So just to briefly run through the earlier examples of blood glucose concentration, from a normal set point, if there is too much glucose that is being produced, the receptor, also the control center, is the pancreas. It will produce insulin to help the liver and the muscles uptake all the excess glucose in the bloodstream. And therefore, the blood glucose concentration in the blood will drop back to normal set point. On the other hand, if blood glucose concentration falls, the receptor and control center at the pancreas will produce glucagon, which will help the liver and muscles to release glucose into the blood until it reaches a normal set point. Also, briefly running through the example for blood water potential. If there is an increase in water potential of the blood, the hypothalamus will be stimulated, less ADH is released, therefore less water reabsorbed into the bloodstream and more urine will be produced. Because more urine is produced, water potential is decreased back to the normal set point. On the other hand, when water potential of the blood decreases, hypothalamus is stimulated to produce more ADH. As a result, more water is reabsorbed, therefore less urine is produced, and therefore water potential is increased back to the normal set point. Okay, and we move on to the main event of this video, which is talking about regulating temperature. So this is the cross-section of the skin, which is the organ that detects temperature. So there are a lot of parts here and there. Mainly you need to be able to identify these. Okay, and from a normal set point of body temperature, when there is an increase due to a variety of reasons, the receptors on the skin detect the change and the hypothalamus is stimulated. It will tell the various body parts to do certain things. The arterioles in the skin will dilate, the shunt vessels will constrict. The shunt vessels will work in opposite intention of the normal arterioles. So in this case, there is a vasodilation of the arterioles. Vaso means vessel, dilate means becoming bigger. So more blood flows to the skin, allowing more heat to be lost via the skin surface. Sweat glands produce more sweat, and mentioned in previous videos, the water that is on the surface on the skin, which is your sweat, when they evaporate, they will take up a lot of heat energy as they have high specific heat capacity. It absorbs a lot of heat energy before it evaporates. Okay, the hair erector muscles will relax so as to trap less air on the surface of the skin. As air is a poor conductor of heat, it helps to insulate the heat. And of course, less air is trapped, less heat insulation occurs. And of course, this is not very effective in humans as we don't have too much hair on the surface on our skin, perhaps more in furry animals. Metabolic rate also decrease because metabolism generates heat, and all these actions, corrective mechanism, will cause blood temperature to decrease back to the normal set range. And let's look at the sequence of events that take place when the blood and skin temperature decreases. The skin detects the temperature change, the temperature drop, and the hypothalamus is stimulated and sends impulses to the relevant body parts to take a certain action. So same, arterioles will vasoconstrict, the shunt vessels will dilate. This restricts the amount of blood going to the surface of the skin, therefore conserving more body heat. Sweat glands produce less sweat. Hair erector muscles will contract, therefore the hair on the surface of the skin will be more upright, therefore trapping more air, and air will help insulate more heat to the body as it is a poor conductor of heat. Metabolic rate increase to generate more heat, and shivering also if required. All these actions help to return the blood temperature back to the normal range. So earlier there is a mention of these special vessels called the shunt vessels. Shunt vessels are just little shortcut vessels that creates an alternative pathway for the blood to travel as compared to the one that goes nearer to the skin surface. So when the body needs to lose heat, the shunt vessel will constrict, allowing more blood to go near the surface and vice versa. So other than the skin, the body also loses heat via these methods. And that is all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and subscribe. Share it with somebody that needs to see this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.